All right, everybody. For those of you who don't know, my name is Michael Forrest, and welcome to It's Quest Time. Now, before we get going, if I can ask all of you to not send me texts while I'm up here, I would really appreciate that, because when you're up here and you're presenting and hosting and you're moving around and all that stuff, and you get one of those texts, it's like hitting a wall and kind of really throw you off. So I'd appreciate it if you guys don't do that. Also, if you could stay off the stage area here, this way nobody blocks this big display behind me, and gives me a little bit of room to move around, do the whole hosting thing, right? Also, if I could direct your attention to your menu wheel in your lower left, you're going to notice at the very top of that menu wheel is a microphone icon that looks kind of like this right there. And when that microphone icon is clear, that means we can hear everything happening in your environment, right? So if somebody, but we've gone ahead and we've turned it to red. Now this means that you're muted. So if somebody comes into your space and says, "Hey, are you still on that thing?" Feel free to answer them, because we're not going to hear any of that, right? Likewise, if you have maybe a barking dog or something like that in the background, we're not going to hear any of that, and you won't face social ruin by becoming known as the avatar that suddenly started barking during its quest time, right? But just because you're muted doesn't mean you can't express yourself. You're going to notice you have this pink-cheeked smiley face emoji in your menu wheel. It looks kind of like this right here. And when you press on that, your emoji panel opens up in front of you, and it gives you a wide variety of options with which to express yourself, right? So if I share something really deep, something really powerful, and it touches you, and it starts to build up inside, you can just let it out and let it flow just like that. Maybe I got some backup dancers backstage, right? And maybe they come on out and we break on out, and it's quest time, the musical, we start moving around. Maybe they're not dancers at all. Maybe they're ninjas, right? And they start fighting, and we got some explosions go off, and you're really impressed by the production value. What you can do is throw up some applause to show that you're very impressed. And, I can take a moment to drink that all in, because it feels good. All right. Also, if I ask you guys a yes or no question, you could say yes by smiling like this. You could say no by frowning like that. Or maybe I say or do something funny, you want to show me you're laughing. You can use a silly faced emoji like this, right? And then there's this thing. All right. This is by far the most distracting of all the emojis. This is only to be used in an emergency. Whoa, there we go. I left it behind me. But yeah, see, I just proved it was distracting. Okay, but yeah, so if you're going to want to use this in the event something goes wrong, right? Like, so if, for example, I'm up here and I'm moving my hands around, you're like, wow, he's really into it, but no sound's coming out. He's not speaking, but he looks like he's trying to. You might want to let me know about that. Or maybe the moderators have had enough. They've been to one quest time too many, and they decide to take revenge by setting the stage on fire. Don't laugh. That's actually happened before. It'll probably happen again. And if it does, you guys are going to want to let me know that. That's our pact. That's our sacred bond between me and you, the audience, right? So if something like that goes, you let me know. Now, if I see one of those hands go up, I'm probably just going to keep on going. But if I see 5 of them popping up, at one time, I know it's something I need to address, something I need to take care of right away. All right. Also, you're going to notice there is an X in the middle of your emoji panel, and this will close your emoji panel. But it's a good idea to leave it open during events like this, because 1, it lets me know how I'm doing. But 2, it lets, more importantly, actually, it lets people, around you know what you're experiencing, right? So if the person next to you starts going like this, that means they found something funny, and you may not agree. You might be like, you know what? I don't agree with that. That's not funny at all. I'm going to go stand over here. And you can do that because it's VR, except for right here, because we got that agreement, our sacred pact that you're not going to come up on the stage, right? We got that going on there. But yeah, pretty much anywhere else, feel free to explore the space. All right. So before we get going, let me give you an idea of what Quest Time's about, right? Quest Time is an event for Oculus Quest users. And, but if you're on a device, feel free to hang out. You may pick up some useful information that's going to help the growing Quest community. There's a lot of Quest users in Altspace, and more are arriving each and every day. But before we get going, let me ask you some questions so I know how to, set out here, right? How many of you are on a quest right now? Let me, see some hearts, shoot some hearts up if you're on a quest right now. Let me stay. Am I on a quest? Well, throw your hands up. You can do that too. Throw your hands up because you can. All right. Yeah, there you go. I love seeing that. The body language is awesome. All right. How many of you used to be on a go and you switched over from a go onto a quest? All right. Anybody? Any former go users here? I got one in the back. All right. Not too bad. That number gets smaller and smaller every time. Let me ask you guys, how many of you are new to Altspace? Any new Altspace users here? I know I asked it earlier, so a few. All right, cool. That's good. Welcome to Altspace. I think you're going to enjoy it. That's awesome. Let's see. How many of you recently got your Quest, like you're relatively new Quest users? All right. All right. Oh, good. That's my favorite. I love seeing that. All right. Awesome. Very cool. All right. Well, let's get going then. Give me some idea. Now, when I was waiting for my Quest to arrive, I had been on an Oculus Go in Altspace for a while. And as you guys may know, you have one controller, right? Now, I grew up in Brooklyn, so I'm used to talking with my hands a lot, right? But all anybody ever saw in Altspace was my one hand going like this. And I didn't feel like I was expressing myself as fully as I could in here, right? And so when I was waiting for my Quest to arrive, I could not wait to get this second hand so I could start moving around like this, like you guys were doing before, right? Couldn't wait for that. But then when my device arrived and I took a look at these controllers, I was like, you know what? These are a lot of buttons. It's a lot to take in if you're a new user. This is a lot of information. But don't worry, it only takes a couple of days, to a couple of weeks, depending on how often you're in here, to really get used to it. You get to a point where you stop thinking about this stuff. And I like to go over this stuff in the beginning because this way, we can skill up some of the new users. But if you've been around for a while, right, and you're already comfortable with the controls, don't worry. We combine it with some movement exercises, so we try to make it fun for everybody. But if you're here today, you already know some basics, right? You already know that the left thumbstick's going to move you around like this. You know that the right thumbstick's going to turn you in these circles. And when you combine them, you get these big, elaborate circles that make my presentations more dramatic. Now, if everybody could try this, maybe you make these big circles, and I look out there, and it looks like you guys all room dancing. Let me get a look at that and see what it looks like. Let's see how you guys do it. That's nice. Very nice. Very fancy. Very cool. I always say, I wish you guys could see wow, that really does look cool. I always say, I wish you guys could see what this looks like. Right now you can, because we have a YouTube channel. You can see yourself dancing around like that. If you look up and you see Raven Eye floating up in the air there, that's our YouTube channel. If you want to wave on out to YouTube, you can. All right. Hey, YouTube, how's it going? We got in the cap right here, we got Desert Spider. In the black shirt here, we got Mr. Ratso. In the bluish purple, we got Purple Penguin. Oh, I guess that is purple. And then we got Penniless Imp in the red there. Let's see who else we got. We got Ninja Biscuity 202 over here in the orange. And in the blue, we got London the Potato, right? So we got a lot of people in here, all right? And come on in Altspace YouTube. I think you'll enjoy it. It's really nice in here. I think you'll have a lot of fun. All right, so let's take a look at some of these buttons and what they do. The first button we're going to talk about is this grip button on your right and your left controller. That's the button right on the side. You can hit it with your third finger, and you're going to use this to interact with your environment. This is how I'm grabbing this laser pointer here, right? You're going to use this to grab fireworks, sparklers, and of course, basketballs, right? And when you try to grab onto that and grab onto the, throw a couple of these out here, grab onto those, have some fun with those, and just, use that grip button to interact with those objects. There you go. Very cool. All right. Now, some other buttons you have to worry about or be concerned about. Listen, while these are a lot of buttons, keep in mind some of them do the same thing. All right. Like you got on the right control, you got this select button, you got this right trigger. And if you have your left pointer enabled, you've got this left select button here. And when you press any of those, they're all going to do the same thing. So if you hold down your right trigger right now and you aim at anybody in the audience, you're going to notice a name tag appears above their head. You just move your arm through it while holding it down. You can see everybody's name tag. That's how I know everybody's name so quickly. That's how I know that that's Mr. Ratso 666 right there. And that's how you know everybody's name so quickly. Another thing you need to be concerned about on an Oculus Quest is your vertical height. All right. Now, when I first came in on my Quest, right, I went to the campfire and I was walking around. I was feeling pretty good. I felt like I was walking on air. And that's when I noticed I was a little bit taller than everybody. So I looked down. And when I did, I realized I was about this high off the ground, right? And the reason for this is if somebody's willing to change your vertical height for me so we can show this off. We just come up to the stage here. There we go. We got Flames. Come up a little bit closer so everyone can see you. All right, come up as close as you can. Here we go. Check out Flames. See how he's floating off the ground there? Show everybody what happened. Where'd you go, Flames? Oh, there you go. You're like gone. You just like disappeared. Flames, where'd you go? All right, cool. Flames, you want to try changing your vertical height for us again? See if you can raise that up. All right, cool. He's doing it. He's down. All right, that's cool. That works too. Press down your left thumbstick and show everybody what happens. Hey, snap into place. Just press that left thumbstick down. There you go. Boom. Now let's see. Let's try that. Ninja Biscuity. You're up there too. Press that left thumbstick and show everybody what happens. Boom. Just like that. So if you find that you're too tall or too short, you just press down on that left thumbstick and it's going to recenter you, right? But remember that this is attached to your head. So if you're looking down when you do it, it's going to kind of pop you up, right? You're going to want to make sure that you keep your head level, look straight ahead, and then press that left thumbstick and boom, just like that. You'll be like, right into place, adjust your vertical height for you, right? Which is pretty great. Now, when you're having a room scale experience, I don't know what it is, but every time you walk out past that main menu, you're going to notice that's when somebody tells you to open your main menu, and you're going to be like, where is this thing? You're going to look over there, you're going to look over there, and it's like always behind you, right? So what you want to do when this happens is remember that, on an Oculus Quest, your main menu is in your hands at all times. That's some handy information. All right, what you do is on your left controller, you're going to notice there's this flat button down toward the bottom. If you press on that, your main menu is going to open up in front of you, right? And then when you press it again, the main menu is going to close, right? And I'll be honest with you, I haven't touched that blue and white triangle in months, right? I just use that flat button on the left control and I flick my hand out like that. You don't have to flick your hand out. I just think it looks cool. It feels right, so I just do it, right? I go like that. My menu's open. I flick it again. My menu's closed. And when you do that, it's kind of cool because it brings your menu wheel back in front of you, right? So if you're like, you can't find your menu wheel, but you want to access your emoji panel, right? All you do is just, press that left button down, press it again. You'll have your main menu in front of you and you'll be more comfortable. And that works out pretty well. Good stuff. All right. Now, another cool button that you need to be aware of is this left trigger button. What this is going to do, if you're walking or flying and you squeeze down that left trigger button, all of a sudden you're going to start going fast, and I can run down into the audience, right? Maybe you guys can join me and we can make a giant circle and we can make it rain, like I make it a hurricane or like a tornado or something like that, right? All right, everybody go in that circle. If you're dizzy, you probably don't want to do this. Let's take a look and see what your formation's like. Everybody keep going in that circle. Let me see. All right, this is one of the best groups I've ever had. That is like a solid circle. Very nice. I am impressed. Sometimes you get a figure eight going. Sometimes it's just, chaos. But you guys are keeping that circular, like really just, wow, I'm impressed. You guys can probably pull off a wave too. You guys want to try that? Everybody come on up toward the stage here, like form a line, like right up here. Get as close as you can, form a line. All right, let's see, because I'm going to do this for YouTube, all right? I don't know if this is going to really show off how great the Quest is, all right? But you form a line up here, and let's start in the end with Tijag right here. I hope I'm saying that right. Put your hands up like this, right over your head, all right? There you go. All right, now let's see. Now you do it. Hand shot first. You got the idea. Now, as soon as your hands go down, I want to see your hands go up, Rooster. All right, now you, Flames. Let's see you, Flames. Put your hands up, quick. All right, now Ninja Biscuit. There we go. There you go. All right, now we go. We got London Tomato. Put your hands up like that. All right, got the wave going. Now you. All right, now you. Now you. We're doing it. We got the wave. Go the other direction. Quick, go back. Come on, Purple. It's all on you. Everybody keep going back this way. The other way. Keep going. Keep going. Keep it going. You're almost there. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, see, YouTube, we're getting better. I told you all we needed was practice. On Twitter, I showed the first time we tried this, and I said, we'll improve. That was probably one of the best waves I've ever seen in Altspace. Good job. That's awesome. Good job. Good work, people. All right, now the next thing we're going to have to really take a look at here is your teleport button. You have this on your right and your left controller, right? The way this works, and I'm hoping you're in a line dash teleport, because that transition's fun. It feels like you're flinging yourself across the room. If everybody joins me up along this wall, line up along this wall here, and then you're going to do is on your right controller, you hold down that teleport button and aim at the floor, right? And when you do, you're going to see your teleport target and a circle right there appear on the floor, and aim it right across the room there. And as soon as you let go, boom, you get flung right across the room. Everybody teleport over to me while there's still time. You can make it. I believe in you. All right. Now on your left controller, if you press down that teleport button and you hold it down and you aim it across the room, as soon as you let go, boom, you get thrown right across the room. Everybody teleport on over to me. Now, if you teleport at the ground and you make an X, right, and you let go at the same time, what you're going to notice is you zig and you zag. Right, kind of like a zigzag motion. Give that a try. This zigzag, right? It's pretty cool to do that. And another thing you can do is if you face the stage and you go backwards and you hold down on the accelerate button to go quick and teleport at the ground, you'll be doing the Altspace moonwalk, right? And I'm hoping that's not a trademark violation or copyright infraction, because that would be bad. All right, another thing you can do, which is cool. Oh, wow, look at you guys are all doing it. That's awesome. Oh, that looks good. All right, another thing you can do, right? And one time, if you guys probably noticed by now, I come off the stage a lot, go into the audience quite a bit. And one time I come down and I'm standing below the stage. I need to get back on, but the audience was like surrounding me, right? And I had to get on quick. And I don't know why I never tried this before, but you always learn new stuff in Altspace, right? I put my hand over my shoulder, right, with my teleport like this, and I teleport it backwards. That's right. You can teleport backwards, and you can do it with your left hand too. There we go. Wait, it's not working. What's going on here? There we go. Backwards teleport. Awesome. Left-handed. All right, cool. Now, so that's kind of neat. It's a good way to give you some options, right? One time I was at the Universe, right? And that's a cool event, musical event. And back then it was held in this really large world. And at the end of it, I walked up to the edge of the world, right? And I started falling because I walked off the edge, right? Went too far. And as I'm falling, I look over and there's this cliff there, right? And I aim my teleport at it, right? And as soon as I let go, boom, I was thrown on the cliff to safety. Now, I know you don't get hurt in Altspace, but I saved myself from respawning, right? And that was pretty cool. And I knew in that moment, I was finally getting a handle on the controls, and you will too. It only takes a couple of days, like a week or so, right? And there's going to come a moment, you're always going to feel the plastic in your hands, but there's going to come a moment where these become your hands, right? Like if I say, hey, everybody, look out that window. I don't actually, think about how I'm doing that. I just point, right? And, it takes more effort to actually explain it. Like if you hold down your middle finger on the side of the controllers on the grip button, you'll find you're all pointing. You can do it with both your hands, right? You can put it together. You combine it. Everybody give me a Brooklyn hello. How you doing, everybody? Let me give you a Brooklyn hello. Oh, that's awesome. I love seeing it. Now put them together, right? Make a triangle like that and hold it up high. Make the Altspace logo. Show me a little Altspace pride. Look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. That's awesome. All right. Now what you can do is twist your hands together like this, make it into a picture frame. Right? Now, if you squeeze your trigger on one of your controllers, you get like the snap effect. How cool would it be to take a screenshot like this? You're like, oh, that's a great job, audience. Look at that. Beautiful. Camera work. That's gorgeous. Oh, very good. All right. Another thing you can do, too, is if you hold down your trigger button and your grip button, you got 2 thumbs up, right? Let me know I'm doing a good job. Maybe I'm not. Hold down 2 thumbs down. Sometimes people come up to the stage and be like this. Like, oh, I don't know about this, Michael Flores. I don't know. One cool thing you can do, too, is maybe 1 up, 1 down, because maybe you're undecided. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you haven't been here long enough, right? For some reason, I've seen this, too, where people put them together. I have no idea what this means, but it looks cool. All right, when people do this, I don't know what it means, but it looks at me. And that's how you pick this stuff up. One of the first quest times we ever had, somebody came up to the stage like this, and they were, flying their hands like that, right? Kind of like making a bird gesture because our name was like Ravenhole Events, right? And they were, doing this, and a bunch of people doing it. So I just started doing it back before the event started. We were all going like this, and that's the best way to pick this stuff up, by mirroring people when you see somebody do something cool. If you hold down your grip button and your trigger button, and you your thumbs to the buttons without pushing down, your thumbs will go down. All right, and you can make kind of a fist, and you can combine this into a cool dance, into a cool dance move. Right now, I'm told this doesn't look as cool as it feels. Right, but I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep doing it. Right, there we go. I'm dancing. There we are. Here we are. Here we go. All right, so that's a few of the options that you can do with the gestures. Which is a lot of fun. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh yeah, now on your right controller, and don't do this now because if you disappear, I'm gonna feel it. Right, where you're gonna notice on your right controller, you have this bottom button right here on your right controller. This bottom button, you have to think of this as an eject button, and it's the best way to leave Altspace. All right. So if somebody comes in your space and says something important like, "Hey, dinner's ready." You're like, "Ooh, gotta go," and you press that button. At that point, you'll get taken to the Oculus home screen, and you'll have a choice to quit or resume. And now there's a new feature there where you can press Take Photo, and that'll actually pull you back into Altspace, and there'll be a red light in the corner, and you can take a forward-facing photo. All right. The only difference is rather than getting saved at altvr.com or in your gallery, it's going to be in your Oculus gallery. All right, but that's a cool way to take some forward-facing photos in Altspace if you didn't know that. All right, now let's see what else do we have here. Oh yeah, but now this is also a good button to press when things go wrong. So let's say I don't know if you've had this experience, but if you're in Altspace and you turn your head, right, and all of a sudden the whole world moves with you, that can make you feel kind of dizzy, right? Doesn't feel good when that happens. You press that bottom button, right? You eject out quickly, right, to give you some quick control. But there's going to be times where that doesn't work. Right? There's going to be times where your device freezes, and not just in Altspace, in all apps, where all of a sudden, like, you'll notice you turn your head and there'll be like a black void. And you're like, uh-oh, it's the void. And then you look up and you look down, you look to the right, and there's a void on all sides, and all of your friends are frozen in space, very dramatic like that, right? And they're all frozen. You know something's gone horribly wrong. And you press that flat button and nothing happens. And you're like, Mike Forrest lied to me. I will have my revenge. But that's not what's going on, right? Your device is just frozen and you need to restart it. Now, when I first got my Quest, I would take my headset off to restart it, right? But I found if I have it plugged in and that charge light isn't going on because it's not in a charge cycle and it takes so long to restart the thing, I kept thinking that there was something wrong with my device that was broken. So I got in the habit of restarting my device while it was still on my head, all right? And it's a good thing to learn. What you do is you take your index finger and you swipe it on the right side. You're going to feel a raised up button, right? Then you take your index finger on your left hand and you push it on the other side. So you squeeze your fingers together so that presses the button down, right? And it doesn't help, but I don't know. I just do this. I put my head down like this and I go into like a deep concentration pose, right? And I focus real hard. And after about 4 seconds, I focus so hard my avatar disappears and I get plunged into the darkness. After about 10 seconds, I start wondering, why did Oculus make it take so long? I really don't know. 15 seconds go by, I start thinking about friends I haven't seen in a long time. I wonder how they're doing, And then 20 seconds go by and I start thinking about the big questions, I start thinking about life. Right? Then all of a sudden, out of the darkness, the Oculus logo emerges like the bat signal, and it starts to pulse. When it starts to pulse, you take your hands away, right? And the device will restart as normal. This is going to take care of most of the problems that you're going to have, not just in Altspace, but across multiple devices. All right, like not devices, multiple apps. Right? So if you have any kind of problems with your device freezes or anything like that, this is the best way to resolve it. Put everything back the way it was. Occasionally, you might experience something more serious, and when this occurs, what you want to do, right, is it was one time I come out of Altspace and I got this notice that said Oculus Home is closing, and there was this blue button that said, okay, right? So being the only option, I pressed okay, and then the screen just said loading, right? So I didn't know what to do. I waited for about 2 minutes, nothing happened. So I did the deep concentration pose, right? And the device restarted, and the screen still said loading. So I knew something was seriously wrong. So I asked my good friend Google about it. Google and I go back, never steers me wrong. And Google said that a lot of people were having this problem. The best thing you could do was a factory reset. But the thing you got to keep in mind, if you do a factory reset, if you have any photos saved on your device, you're going to lose those. If you have to, and you're going to have to reinstall all your apps. Good news, you won't have to pay for them again. You're also going to probably lose all of your settings in those apps too. Like you might even, it's serious business. Like you might even lose your Beat Saber scores. All right, that's very serious, right? But it's going to put the device the way it back was the way it was when you got it, right? So it's good to know that that option is there if you ever have a problem. All right, now another thing to keep in mind is, listen, if you're here today, you've already done the tour, right? You danced with the robot. That was a lot of fun. You played with the blimp and all that stuff. It's a good time. So you're probably already familiar with your Guardian system. But what you may not know is how to use this to your advantage while you're in Altspace, right? Remember before I mentioned about the whole world moving with you and you get that dizzy feeling? Even if you're not on a Quest, if you get dizzy in VR, one of the best things you can do, especially if you're new to VR, is hold your hand up to your face like this and take a good look at that hand, right? And after a while, the dizziness is going to pass. And you take the hand away slowly and take in the world around you, and that'll improve things. But you can also use your Guardian system for this purpose. All right. Now, I like to say when you move around inside your Guardian, keep in mind, right? Because you'll see this happen in Altspace all the time. Somebody will be walking along, right? And when they're walking along, all of a sudden, boom, they hit a wall. You don't want to hurt yourself. You don't want to damage your device, right? So be very careful. And I find it helps to lead with your hands, right? And when you lead with your hands, right? Say I walk up to my real world wall right now, right? And as soon as I get close to it, that grid appears in the air in front of me. But you know what? I can still move my thumbsticks, right? So while I'm standing still in the real world against my real world wall, my avatar is moving around, right? And what I can do is go up to this screen here, this display, right? And kind of match the position of my real world wall with this display. And what this is going to do is this is going to create kind of a reality anchor for me, right? So that, like, maybe I back up too far, right? And I fall off the stage. Oh no, I'm in the audience. And let's say you guys aren't a nice audience. Let's say you're really hostile. You guys come over here and you stick your hands in my face, try to make me dizzy. Give me your worst shot. Let's see what you got, people. Let's see you do it. All right, that's pretty good, actually. Oh, well, it's a small crowd. I didn't think it was going to be that much, but that's pretty good. You'll notice that I'm not breaking my words. I'm not losing my sentences. I'm not losing my focus. I have no problem at all because I can see that display. It's a huge display. You're really not doing a good job of blocking it at all. Really, seriously, I've had better. But as long as I can see that display, it's not going to throw me off. Oh, that's pretty good, but I can still see it. You got gaps in your fingers and stuff like that. Another thing you might want to try, right, is if maybe you have a table or a desk in your environment, what you can do is line it up with the edge of the stage here, right? And by doing that, what you're going to end up doing is creating a reality anchor, right? And this is going to help you feel more balanced. You'll get dizzy less as long as you have some kind of a focal point to move around and kind of, this will get you used to VR quicker. All right. Another thing you got to keep in mind is that you can switch from a room scale experience to a seated experience pretty effortlessly in Altspace, right? So let's say I'm up here and I'm like, you know what? This is my second event today. I've done over 300 events in Altspace and I'm tired. I need to sit down. That's what I need to do. So what I can do is I go up the edge of my Guardian system, right? Stick my hands out, right? Make sure I got enough room to move my head through, right? And as soon as I move my head through, the pass-through camera goes off. Or if you're using those new experimental features, you can do that double tap thing. Anybody tried that yet? That thing is awesome. You go tap, tap, and then all of a sudden you can see the real world, if you believe in that kind of thing, right? And then all of a sudden I see off to the side, I've got my chair there, right? I got my coffee right here. I take a sip of that, throw the mug down because I'm just like that, right? And all of a sudden I see my chair over there and I walk on over to my chair, right? And I turn around, I sit down in it, right? And there's a blue button on my screen asking me if I want to have a stationary experience. I say I do, right? And then, what happens is I find that not only am I still in VR, but I'm still in Altspace. And this works in the other direction too. There was one time I was moderating an event, right? And, there was about 2 minutes left in it. And I got up because I wanted to get up and walk around. So I got up to walk into my Guardian. But sometimes on the Quest, your Quest can lose your Guardian because of changing light levels. And for one reason or another, your headset can't resolve its position. So it figures, just give me a fresh boundary, no big deal. But if there's 2 minutes left in the event, it's a pretty big deal. So I started drawing out my boundary, right? I'm drawing it along here, right? And I'm like, why is my play space so big? And why, of all the days that I have to moderate for an admin, why did it have to be today? And all of a sudden, my grid closes there, and the grid comes up out of the floor, and I find not only am I still in VR, but I'm still in Altspace. I never left. All anybody sees is your avatar frozen like this. Now, I always pause there, right? And it was this one time, I always think of it when I do this, but there was this one time where, I actually lost my internet connection when I had paused there, right? So everybody's in the audience and they're looking like this. They're looking up like, wow, look at him. He's really into it. That's like a very dramatic pause there. He's just so invested in the role. Look at him. He's real professional. It was pretty funny, actually. I was only gone for a couple of minutes. I came right back. I came back in. We all had a good laugh. It was a good time. But, yeah, so all anybody's going to see is your avatar frozen like that. And then when you come back in, right, what's going to happen is it'll be like you never left, and then maybe you're at the universe and you're dancing. You just keep on dancing, right, and hope that, nobody noticed that you were gone, right? And, this way, Yuji doesn't, destroy you with her awesome admin powers right off the stage. Lasers coming out of the eyes. It's very scary. You don't want to see that happen. All right, another cool thing that you can do, right, and this isn't useful at all. This is just cool, all right? If you go up to the edge of your Guardian system, right, and you make sure you got enough room to move your head through it, right? You got to make sure you got enough room to put your head right through there. And as soon as you put your head through it, the pass-through camera goes off, right? What you want to do is do this really slow, right? When you do it really slow, there's going to be this little sweet spot where you can see both realities at the same time, all right? You'll be seeing the real world and VR at once. And what's cool about this is you're going to be able to see the Altspace avatars in your home environment. Altspace avatars are about 6 feet tall, and they're a lot wider than you would think they are. But it's really not going to register for you until you see them in a familiar environment, like your living room or your office or wherever you VR from, right? And you'll see the avatars of your friends in your home, in your actual home space, not just your Altspace home space, right? And it's just a pretty cool thing to do. It's pretty neat. All right, one of the great things about the Quest is it just works. Now, that just doesn't mean it can't work better, right? You're going to notice like those earbuds they have that dangle down. Now, I don't know what I look like when I'm in VR, but I like to think when I have these on, I look fancy because they're like VR earrings, right? And the first time I wore these, I wasn't expecting much because I was already used to how great the sound was on the Quest, right? But first time I wore them, I took them to the campfire to try them out. And did you guys know that there's a breeze in the campfire? I've been in Altspace for like a year and a half, and I didn't know that, right? I walked over to that fence on the side, and I heard the water rushing. I had no idea. I was like, wow. It turns out there's a lot of rich ambient sound in Altspace that can make the experience so much more immersive, right? It's definitely worth checking out. It's a cool thing to do, right? Also, you're going to notice, listen, a lot of people think the Quest is uncomfortable. I know a lot of people that actually returned the Quest because of this, right? And in fact, when I first started out, I had a sore on my forehead from it, right? And the reason for this is, and Oculus doesn't advertise this enough, right? Is that there's a breaking in period that happens. The oils in your face will actually soften the material of the insert, right? And over time, after a couple weeks of use, you're going to notice this tension on the springs change, and the headset's going to feel a lot more balanced. But a lot of people get impatient and they think, I'm going to modify it. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to put on a counterbalance. I'm going to put on an external battery pack. And you can do all these things, but wait for the device to break in first, because if you don't, what will happen is you'll fix it, and then the balance will change after it gets broken in, right? And then you're going to feel like it's uncomfortable again, right? And it's not going to feel right. So you're going to want to do this at the end of the breaking in period, right? And if you find at the end of the breaking in period, if it's still uncomfortable, you can get these accessories that'll help it, like the external battery packs, like the counterbalance weights, and or these VR cover inserts, right? It's real comfortable too. It's like it feels like you got a face and a pillow. It comes with two of them. You can wash one, right, and then while the other one's in use, and that makes it more hygienic. That's really important these days. And you can also get these prescription inserts, and they'll help protect your glasses and your VR lenses. Because listen, if you scratch your eyeglasses or you scratch your VR lenses, that can get pretty expensive pretty quickly, and this will help with that. Speaking of protecting your device, the box that the Quest comes in is fantastic. All right, it really is. But if you're gonna be traveling around and moving around a lot, you're gonna want to get one of these travel cases here, because listen, if something happens to your device, if you leave it on a table and it gets damaged by sunlight or something like that, what's going to happen is, you're going to experience as an actual loss. It's not like losing your toaster, right? Like if you made friends in here, like if I'm in here and I see, it's me Dex, and we go back like a long way, right? And oh no, I'm never going to see it's me Dex ever again, and I'm going to be all devastated, right? It's going to be tragedy. It's going to be bad, and it's terrible. So you're going to want to get one of these to take care of you. Make sure you take care of your device. If you want to try any of these products out, right? They're easy to find. What you can do is you go to altvr.com. You're going to notice in the upper left, there's a link that says channels. And if you go press on that, you're going to see a list of all these Altspace event channels. And you're going to see Ravenhall events, like it says in the sound booth, down toward the bottom. And then when you press on this, you get taken to our event page. And there you're going to see all these products listed on the left-hand side. You'll also see a join Discord button if you want to ask us any questions or say hello. You're also going to see the most important button on the internet. That's right. That's where they keep it, the subscribe button. And when you press the subscribe button, it lets Altspace know that you enjoy our content. We don't really get paid to do any of this, so it makes us feel good every time we see that number go up. Anytime we see our YouTube subscribers go up, that feels good too. And speaking of YouTube, if you want to try any of these products, you'll find links in the description below. All right, cool. Now, if you guys have any questions at all or comments, maybe you have a device I haven't mentioned, like an accessory type thing, you'd like to recommend to everybody, you're going to notice a raise hand button up here on your lower right, as if by magic, because that's what magic looks like in VR, right? And I'm going to get your name on the list there, right? If you press that raise hand button in your lower right, and then I'll call on you, and you get to feel Altspace famous. All right, we got Ninja Biscuit. What's going on, Ninja? I hope I'm saying your name right. Yeah, because I don't get to see the full name. Yeah, where'd you go? You're around here somewhere. I don't see you. Okay, I'm gonna try pressing on you again. Let's see if this works. You're on the air, and I get to feel like a radio host. Yeah, Ninja Biscuit, you out there? Where are you? No, it's not happening. I don't see you. Okay, cool. All right, that's fine. All right, let's see here. We've got Flames. Flames, you're on the air. What's going on, Flames? Where are you, Flames? Flames, speak to me. 1 second. I'm getting the 1 second sign there. Okay. We got Hand Shot First. What's going on, Hand Shot First? I can hear you. Which one? Oh, I got a bunch of.
I'm sorry, that's me, Flames.
Okay, Flames, what's going on, Flames? You have a question or a comment?
Sorry.
That's fine.
So earlier I was doing the browser, and
yeah,
I have some issues with this. I tried Google, I tried YouTube, and I don't know, I just have different separate issues about it. Is this something that can be fixed somehow?
Well, the browser in Altspace has always been kind of tricky. All right, they've always been working on it. They keep saying that they're going to come out with a new browser that's going to help. And sometimes it depends on the space that you're in. Like right now at this event, we don't have every domain active. So you're not going to be able to open certain pages while you're here. But in your home space, you're probably going to be able to open more. So and in some spaces, you won't be able to open a browser at all, right? So really, it depends on where you are, partially. But there are a lot of problems with the Altspace browser, and they are working on a better one. That's all I really actually know about it at this time. Let's see.
Okay.
Handshot first.
Well,
You
that helps. Thank you.
available yet?
Yeah.
Let's see. There you go. What's up, Han?
I
And
was
you sure it
just
wasn't Frito?
wondering.
Because you're wearing a green shirt. I don't think you
Oh,
really.
it was
I don't
Han.
think you really own
It was Han.
Okay, just making sure. Just
Yeah,
making sure.
someone who guessed
What's
that
your
reference, but is it just me, or is when you use your Quest like for a few hours, it overheats and like the screen goes crazy? Because I wasn't here before. I just got in here late, so if you talked
You
about that
shouldn't
was my
be.
bad.
Do you live in a warm climate? Because that shouldn't be happening. The Quest has an internal fan that should go off when it starts to get hot. What you might want to do
Yeah.
is write Oculus support and pull out a support ticket, because if that fan isn't working, it could eventually damage your device, and you want to get them early, because Oculus is really great about exchanging hardware. If something doesn't work, they're happy to replace it. All right. So write them and tell them that you're overheating a lot. That's something that happens a lot on the go, but I have never overheated on the Quest, not once. I haven't had that happen at all. So what you want to do, if that fan doesn't go off, and the first time your fan goes off, it's weird, right? Because you don't know where it's coming from. Even though it's like right in front of your face, for me, in my environment, I thought it was coming from another room, and I was like, what's going on? Is it like a car outside? No, that's a plane. That's definitely a plane. And I couldn't figure out what it was. And then after a while, I realized, wait, that's my fan. So that can happen. But the fan is so quiet that it actually, it won't be picked up by the microphone. So it's really great. All right, listen, I see there's a couple people
And
I
I'm
didn't get
subbing.
to. Wait, and you're what?
And I'm
And you're
subbing. I'm subbing on YouTube.
Oh, well, we appreciate that. We love it when we get more subscribers. That's like the best. Thank you so much, Handshot first. All right. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to show you guys a really cool effect. You see this big red button here? When I press this, a Ravenhall Talon hovercraft is going to fly by this window, right? It's going to go up over those trees. It's going to land in that backyard area there, right? Now, at the end of our events, we take everybody to the Ravenhall Flight Academy, teach you guys how to fly. If you have any questions or comments, we can take them there too. All right. But I'm going to take off this stage blocker here. I'm going to unmute everybody. So if you want to come on up here and you want to try to push this button with me, because sometimes it sticks, right? Come on up here and help me press this button, right? I count to 3, and on 3, we'll give it a good push. You're going to put your back into it, right? All right. So on 3, ready? 1, 2, 3, push.
Ravenhall Talon
now look out the
aircraft
window.
en route to your position.
Look out the window. There it goes. There it is. Now, you can fly these, by the way. If you want to give these a try to fly these around, you could do it at the Ravenhall Flight Academy. So come on with me. Come join me on here. And listen, if you've learned anything here today, please share it with those you come in contact with, right? So, like, if you're standing around, somebody's down on the ground, and they, and you're like, what's wrong? You're like, I'm on a quest and I'm stuck in the ground. Tell them to push down the left thumbstick. They'll pop up and they'll feel better. You'll feel better because you help somebody. And that's how we help keep this thing going, all right? All right, let's see.
Talon aircraft is now boarding outside for transport to the Ravenhall Flight Academy. Please exit the building and step into the blue light. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming. You've been a great audience. I'll see you next time.